Hello, my name is Anita. I'm the jewelry designer and accessories designer for UK-based brand Anita Kwanzaa London. So today I would like to go on a creative journey with you. I'm going to be designing an impromptu necklace. It's going to be African inspired. The colors are going to be quite bright. We're going to use accumulation of different materials and different beads and some yarn, pom-poms. It's going to be like a festive, I call it a festive piece. So I'm going to introduce you quickly to the tools that we'll be needing to create the necklace. So we're going to use a pair of scissors. I'm going to be needing a pair of scissors, flat nose plier, round nose pliers, side cutters. I'll also be using a measuring ruler, my bead stoppers, and then for stringing I'll be using a tiger tail, and then I'll also be stitching in this project. So I'll be needing a strong sewing thread. So this one is like a nylon, bonded nylon thread. So this is like perfect for stitching denim and for leather. So I'll be using that, as well as sewing needles. And then for the materials I'll be using will be colored beads with some colorful rondelles. And I've got this beautiful acrylic bead as well. So I'm it's like a combination of old and new. So these are like old pieces of jewelry, which I found from a thrifted, what we call the charity shop here, but it was really lovely, and I felt like I needed to give a new lease of life. So I'm gonna be using the beads from this as well. I'm gonna also be using parts from like an old earring as well, so I like that. Won't be using obviously the metal part, but I like the filigree design here, so we'll be using that. I'm gonna also be using a couple of bead and rope end caps as well, so I'll be using that too. And then I've got some pendants and then some beads. So it's going to be a mishmash of different components. And I'll also be using rope as well. I'll be using some rope, colorful rope. I'll be using a knitting yarn, and then bringing the knitting yarn. So I'll be using two colors actually of the knitting yarn. So I'll be using the blue and this multicolored color here. And I'll also be using pom-poms. So pom-poms, I love pom-poms as well. Oh, and also for my finding, I'll be using some eye pins as well. And I'll also be using the usual toggle clasp for to finish off my necklace. And then some jump rings as well. I'll also be using some jump rings too as well. But I'll let you know as I go along the materials I'll be using. So without further ado, we're going to make a start on the necklace. So what I've done first was I have cut my rope. So for this design, I had to cut, move all these things out of the way. So my first row is about 23 centimeters. So I just move that. And then the second one is about 20 centimeters. Okay. So what I normally do for my ropes is I normally use a lighter. Hopefully there's life in this lighter, because I use so much lighter that okay, so I'm going to go around and seal the edges of my rope because I don't want the fray edges. So I'm just going to go around, seal them up. Sorry, I've come to my lights have come towards the end of the day, but okay, all right. But you know, if you're making yours, you have to seal the end so that it doesn't fray, so you prevent the fray edges. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the smaller part of my rope. I'm going to place it inside like that, and then the longer part on the outside. So what I'm going to go ahead and do next is I'm going to take my yarn, knitting yarn. I'm going to use a brighter color. I love colors. So I'm just going to go around and double up my yarn like so. All right, making sure that both ends are aligned. Okay, I'm gonna start wrapping. So what I'll do is I'll take the end of my yarn, place it inside like so. I'm gonna try and cover the whole yellow yarn, yellow rope. I love yellow, but for this design, I'm not gonna be using it in my design. Okay, so I'm just gonna aim to completely wrap the rope. So as you're wrapping it, make sure that it's neat and then the rope that you're using is completely covered. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue and then wrap. Okay, as you're wrapping, make sure you're molding it round. Okay, so I'm just gonna place my yarn on the floor and then wrap, and then again mold it into shape as you're wrapping. Okay, so just keep molding it like so. Wrap, mold it again, keep molding it. Okay, again, keep molding it too. So of course you can use any color that you wish. For this color, for my design, I'm using the blue base, blue for the base of my design. And then, as you can see, the back is covered as well. So aim to wrap it neatly as possible, okay? And very tightly close to each other. So I'm using bright colored, well, the blue yarn as my base color. And because obviously there's gonna be a lot of beads and embellishment that's gonna go over the design. So I don't want any color that is gonna take away, that's gonna clash with the beads that I'm gonna be using as well. So I'm just gonna now wrap. I'm coming towards the end. When I get to the end, what I'm going to do is, okay, see this part that is here? I'm gonna go ahead and trim that off, okay? I need to get more lighter. I go through so much lighter in my work. Okay, I think I ran out. It's okay, so I'm just gonna cut the end like so. I'm gonna make a knot, all right? So I'm gonna make a knot at the end of my rope, okay? So this part here, I'm just gonna trim it off, all right? Okay, all right, so let me just get rid of put my yarn aside. And then what I'm going to do next is, oh, I forgot to mention I'll be needing also Uhu glue. I think in America they call it E6000 glue. And then super glue as well. I use both Uhu glue and super glue for double strength. So for my yarn, you can see my rope is completely done. Normally, obviously I ran out of my lighter is completely gone. But what I would have normally done is I would have gone around and neatened the hairy parts on the yarn, okay? Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my bead end caps. So when you're choosing your yarn, make sure you choose a bead end cap that fits nicely at the end of your rope, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue. I'm going to take my glue, squirt a little bit inside my bead cap, my end cap, rope end cap. So swivel the glue like so, okay? And I'm going to take my super glue. I'm going to dab a little bit and then swivel to the side like that, okay? And then next, I'm going to now take my rope end. I'm going to now push my cap inside, all right? So once I've done that, what I can also use is use my round nose plier and just squeeze it in like that, or anything sharp, okay? Just squash it in. Okay, before the super glue dries, okay, you have to be mindful of where the hole on your cap is, okay? Because of the way I'm going to do my design, I want the hole to be facing each other. So you see there's a hole on the end cap here. I want both of my holes to be facing each other like so, okay? Not up that way or that way. So bear that in mind when you're wrapping when you're putting your big cap, okay? For the second part, I'm going to squeeze in some of my super glue, my glue, and then I'm going to put my super glue on top, okay? Okay, so what that does is it gives it that extra hold, and then so my thing doesn't go anywhere. So I'm just going to pass it through like so. And I'm gonna get my rope and I'm gonna squeeze it in. Okay, so again, making sure that everything is tucked in. Again, making sure that my cap is facing the right way. So it needs to be facing that way. The hole there needs to be facing that way. So I'm just gonna make that out like that. Okay. So when you're putting your super glue, be careful as well. I'm using like a gold fill caps. So make sure that you don't have any super glue, but I'm gonna wipe that off later on. So make sure that everything is tucked in, okay? So with the double glue, everything, it should be sealed, all right? Then what I'm going to do here, there's a cap here, there, so I'm happy with it, all right? So as you can see, we've got that kind of like horseshoe shaped. That's what we're aiming for, all right? Then what I'm going to do next is I'm gonna go ahead and get my earring parts. I've already done this part before, previously. So the earring part had this filigree thing and it had the earring bits there, which I'd taken out. I took that out earlier because I'll only be needing this part, this brass part here. I quite like the brass part because I felt like it's going to complement the design that I'm working with. So to fill in the middle part of my filigree part, I'm going to use my eye pin. So I'm using a brass colored eye pin. I think this is about 50 mm in size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my eye pin. Obviously this one is open at the moment. Then I'm going to find a part of my, on the filigree, which is on this part here with the opening there. And I'm going to insert my eye pin through and I'm going to close it. So I'll close the loop on the eye pin so that this is strapped like so. You see how that's strapped? So I'm going to take one of my lamp work gold filled lamp work bead. I'm going to place that in the middle like that. So with this part of my wire, I'm going to tuck that back. So looking at where I've tucked it in from before, which is here, I'm going to tuck that back in on the opposite side, and then I'm going to pull. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and form a loop so that I'll be able to now trap. So I can now like put the bead so the bead will be nicely secure in the middle. So I'm going to now trim off my wire like that. So there's a little bit there. So I'm going to try and form a loop. So using my round nose plier, I'm going to now bend my loop, okay? So I'll bend it. So making sure that the loop is touching the other part. So you just keep looking. All right, so once I've done that, I have to check both loops are okay. Yeah, so as you can see, I've trapped that in there. That's the back of it and that's the front of it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and now place my filigree with the beaded part on the central part of my wire. So to find the central part, what I normally do is I just place it like so in the middle like that. The two parts there, I squeeze, okay? Squeeze just to get that middle part. So my middle part is there. So I'm just going to, again, let me squeeze it again. Squeeze. Okay, that's fine. So that's the middle part of my necklace, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and straighten it out. Of course, you can also use a ruler as well if you're uncertain. Like if you want a ruler, let's say for instance, straighten it out if you want to find the middle part. So let's straighten it out here. So let's say from there to there, let's call it about 18.5 centimeters. So that's without measuring the big cap, okay? So 18.5, 7, 14, 16, 9 plus 9, 18, so it'll be about 9. So if I aim for about 9, sorry. You can use a measuring tape as well for this as well if you need to. So this is my middle point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my needle here and place it there. So that'll be my middle point, okay? So I've got all my needles falling out. I've threaded some needles earlier so that it makes the process a little bit speedier, okay? Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to, oh, all my needles are all, okay, so I think the best thing to do is to move my needles up here because I don't want the dog definitely not choking on the needle. Okay. All right, so okay, so I've got my middle part here. Hopefully that's the middle. No, that's not the middle. I think that's the middle here. So again, just keep looking at it. Okay. All right, I think that's the middle. Okay, I think that's the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my needle. Always work from the back to the front. Okay, so insert my needle from the back, like so, from the middle part of the back to the front, and then pull it out. Okay, so again, the needle I'm using is a normal sewing needle, because obviously I do a lot of stitching. So I invest in needle that is very, very strong, not the easily breakable ones that are quite like strong. So I've got my needle there and thread. I'm gonna pass my needle through the loop on the pendant, on the earring pendant. So now obviously we've changed the earring pendant, now is now a pendant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now gonna make a stitch it quite a few times. Okay, so when you're stitching, make sure you have like a neat stitching. You try to be as neat as possible because you don't want the thread to be visible. I bet you'll be wondering, okay, why are you not using blue, or why are you not using like a fishing wire? I've got a fishing wire. Sometimes I use a fishing wire as well. So I might end up using that in this design, but I try to aim as, when I'm stitching, make sure that I stitch as neatly as possible. So as you can see at the back, you can hardly see where I'm stitching. Okay, so as you're stitching, just make sure that everything is around like so. Just make sure that, because we still want that horseshoe curved shape. All right, okay, so what I'm going to do again, I'm going to pass my needle from the back to the front. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get one of my crystal glass beads. All right, so I've got some crystal glass beads as well. I'm going to also be using like seed beads as well. So it's going to be a curation of different and stuff. So I've got this lovely spacer beads as well. So I'm going to be mixing gold with silver and different colors. So I'm going to thread my my spacer bead in the middle like so. I'm going to now pick up one of my small, it's 4 mm by 3 mm crystal glass beads. I'm going to now stitch that through the middle of my spacer bead there. I'm going to now pull out my needle from the back. Okay, so I normally stitch a few times just to have that, as you can see, sitting there. All right, so I need to move all my pliers. Okay, so I'm going to go back again and stitch from the middle just to make sure that bead is secure. All right, so I'm going to repeat that. So this is the second time I'm stitching. I use my plier to pull it out like so. Okay, so when you do that, you can also double your thread as well if you want to make it, because I'm using like a double thread, so you can even double it and make it 4. In this case I'm just using 2, but I normally double it up. I don't know why I did it this time, around I never did. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to now place my needle, insert my needle from the back, and then push the needle out like that. Okay, so again, you see I'm not revealing where I've put it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull out my needle from the back and then pass my needle from the back to the front. Okay, so I'm trying to make it less visible where the thread is. Okay, then here I'm going to now, there's a hole on the filigree on the pendant, as you can see. I'm going to try as much as possible to now fill up those holes. So I'm going to thread one of my crystal beads. I'm going to pass it through. So I'm looking again where my pendant is. So I'm going to pass it through the hole on the side there, pull it out from the back, and then I'm going to now again from the back, pass it from the back to the front. Again, pull it out like so, okay? And then pass it again through the double, to the, through the crystal, back through the filigree again, and then pull it out, okay? Just to make it secure, all right? Another thing I can do also is just to keep that loop in place. What I can do is I'm just gonna take my eye pin, I'm gonna pass it through that loop there, and pass it through that loop here, okay? Just to maintain my shape, because I really ought to maintain my shape. and then I'll just leave it like that. All right, so I don't lose my stitch. I can now expand it like that. All right, as I'm stitching. So I'm going to repeat the same thing again. Pass my needle from the back to the front, like so. All right, and then I'm going to pull it out from the front, and then I'm going to repeat the same process again. Pass my needle through my crystal glass beads from the front to the back, and then repeat the same thing again from the back, and then pass the needle from the back to the front, and then keep stitching till I fill up that whole filigree, that area. With the red, I used the red because I felt like the red would kind of give a little bit of shimmer. Yes, obviously you cannot see it now, but by the time we now arrange our design, it will really, oh my goodness, I need to find the lighter, because the hair on the yarn is not allowing I ought to find a light. Oh, okay, I've got a little bit of I've got a little bit of fuel left in there. Oh, I go through a lot of it. I went out today and I've totally forgot to get a lighter. I really should, considering I use a lighter a lot. I'm not a smoker, but a lot of my work involves a lot of tidying up. Just sorry about the noise, the clicking noise. This is what happens when you're trying to manage. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat the same thing, continue stitching. Hopefully, I'm just praying that hopefully by the time I need to do the other side, that the feel will just magically work, and then I will have enough to tidy up my yarn. I'm just praying in this case. Okay, so you can see my back is completely neat and tidy. So just try to be as neat as possible when you're stitching. Okay, if you can certainly use a color that is very close to the color of the yarn you're using. The sewing thread. But in this case, because obviously I haven't got the strong nylon bonded wire in the blue color. I only have it in the black and the neutral color, which are the two colors I use all the time. So in this case, I try as much as possible to make, whenever I'm stitching on a thread on a base like this, I try as much as possible to have like a clean stitching. But in any case, when you're stitching on anything like this, making a jewelry that is textile based, you need to, at least anyway, you need to stitch as neatly as possible, as you can see here. Okay, I've come towards the end of this part. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. So with the exception of the middle part. So I've got this side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try, see this part on this hole here. I'm going to now take another bead and pass it through that hole and then stitch it so I can tack that side down. All right. So again, pass it from the back to the front, and then keep stitching. I mean, for me, I like to make textile-based jewelries. I feel like there's so many materials to work with, and we cannot just limit ourselves to just one particular material. So I use a lot of repurposed materials. I use a lot of vintage materials, vintage beads. I try as much as possible to use even unexpected materials, like even safety pins, hardwares like bolts and stuff. Okay, you see the back is very neat. So I'm just going to go ahead and knit and make a knot at the back. Okay, so make a knot here, make a double knot. All right, so make a double knot here. All right, so make sure. Okay, so what I normally do as well is, obviously, if I had my lighter with the nylon, because it melts so easily, I normally use my lighter. I'm so sorry about the clicking noise. Okay, there's no light in there. There's no point even trying. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat the same process that I did on this side on the other side. Okay, so again, I'm gonna knot my thread. So what I normally do is, obviously, when I'm stitching like this, when I'm doing a lot of stitch-based work, I normally have multiple multiple needles on the go. And then that way, what happens is, if I run out of one, I just pick up the next one and then I continue stitching. So I'm going to repeat what I did on the opposite side on this side, okay? So I'm just going to now pass it through again. Again, watching, be mindful of where you're placing your needle, all right? So you see, when you have like old jewelries like this, or old pieces of like necklaces or earrings, don't be in a haste to throw anything away. You can reuse as much as possible. Try and give them a new lease of life. Yes, it may be, the color might be dull, but depending on the work, your design you're working on, or what you intend to do eventually in the future, that color might be an advantage. I mean, I've had this earring for a very, very long time. I kept keeping it because obviously I felt like it's gonna come in useful at some point. I'm not using the metal part, obviously the earring part, due to for hygiene reasons, and obviously I have sanitized and cleaned the brass area. So obviously safety, you have to still be cautious as well for that. So, but it's the filigree part that I really, really like because it has that aged look to it. Okay, I love aged stuff. I must have been like, I tell you, like my grandmother used to say to me in Igbo language, I'm half Nigerian, half Ghanaian, and I'm from my mom is from Onisha, which is in Anambra State. I'm Igbo. So my grandmother used to say, Nne ibialo wambo, means my daughter, you've been here before. She said, Nne ha. She used to say to me, Annie. I used to say, me and my grandmother were so close. We were very, very close. Okay, so I'm just looking at this. I might have to now fill in more holes on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might have to fill in more holes on that side. So she used to say, oh, Annie. She used to call me Annie Mbombo. She calls me Annie Mbombo. And I used to say, Mama. She says, Annie. She used to say, Nne, what's up? And then my grandmother, she's like in her 80s when she passed away. So she said, Annie Mbombo. I used to say, Mama. She would say, Neke DJ. Neke DJ means, how are you? Neke DJ, like a slang. My grandmother was still cool, even at her old age. She was still cool. She was very cool. She would say, Neke DJ, means, how are you? What's up? And I would say, Mama, Ije dina sight. Ije dina sight means, like, I'm doing well. But it's like in a slang way, like, Ije dina sight. Like that. Yeah, so I like to make, I mean, when she was alive, bless her soul, she's no longer with us. She's gone to heaven. I believe so anyway. And I know so. Okay, so I've come towards that end. And okay, I'm gonna pass stitch on that loop there. And she taught me everything I knew. She exposed me to my creativity. She was like a seamstress of her time, you know. She was so good at what she did. She used to sew clothes for the kings and chiefs in our village. And, you know, she would tell you, Nne, ha, I used to sew clothes for Nnamdi Azikiwe. I'm like, Mama. And she had so many tales. She would tell you about the Biafra War, because she would tell you, Anne, me and my children, we ran during the Biafra War. Me and my husband, we ran to Abia. We ran to here, Abia State. We ran to there. She has so many stories to tell. Okay, I've come towards that end, so I'm just going to now trim the back, and I'm going to make a knot. She was telling, Nne, we ran to Mbise, me and my children. And when the men went to the war, me, I will be with the women, and I'll be teaching the women how to sew, how to make things, how to bake, how to cook, to keep ourselves busy, so that when the men come back, they will not meet lazy wives. I used to say to her, Mama, how can you say the wives are lazy? She said, but that's true now. She would tell me. She would say, that's true now. Annie, you need to keep busy. Yes, that one I know for sure, because I took that off her. I took her off her. She normally say, you don't rest. And I'm like, Mama, you said to me, you taught me all I knew. So I've always been a productive child. Very, very productive. Okay, you see on this side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need to fill that in with 2 more so that it can balance out, okay? So I'm just going to now pass my needle from the back to the middle, because I need to fill it in. I know the areas I need to fill it in now. So I'm just going to pass that through, like so, through the hole there. Okay, I'm just gonna, might have to now squeeze that in here somewhere, hold that, just to fill it in, like so. All right, so I see. So again, when you're stitching, you have to be mindful of where you're stitching. So making sure that you have a clean stitching. So she taught me everything I knew. She taught me how to sew. We were very, you know, she made sure that we did our chores. She showed at a very young age. I knew how to sew, how to cook, how to clean the house, how to look after my siblings. I'm the eldest of 3, but now unfortunately we are 2. My brother has gone to heaven too, so it's now me and my sister. So so we're very productive. So very productive, and there was no lazy person in the house. Not that I can remember, not that I know anyway. And we're big in my family. There's a lot of us in my family. So again, I'm stitching the holes there, making sure, as you can see the back, I'm making sure that the back is tidy. Very tidy. Okay. So she taught me everything I know. And plus, also my culture exposed me to so many things. You know, coming from Igbo land, our culture is very rich. It's very diverse. That definitely did inspire me to actually do things differently to the norm, you know. So when I got into jewelry, I said my grandmother was my muse. She's the reason why I design what I do. I'm very artistic. I'm not very into, although I won't say I can't see myself being a doctor. I can't see myself. I mean, I admire people who do, but I'm very artistic. I'm very hands-on. I like making things. I like creating things. I like drawing. I see things differently to what other people see. So she used to say to me, she said, ne, anyagi. Anyagi means eyes. Anyagi diche means your eyes is different, she used to say. We spoke a lot of Igbo. In Onisha, in my schooling, we mix English with Igbo. So I would probably say Igbo is my first language and English is my second language. Although I speak English a lot now, but we speak both. I still speak both. Although I'm Ghanaian, I have no clue about my Ghanaian side. So I don't speak I know my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. If you're hearing this, I am learning. I am going to be one of those your daughters that are going to come home, and I will come home. I am planning to come home. Okay, I'm so sorry about the clicking noise. I'm just trying to get a little bit of... Okay. Oh. All right, so I've done the stitching here. You can see the back here. It's kind of neat. It's very neat, but don't worry. But when you're stitching yours, make yours as neat as possible, okay? So, I really need a lighter. Oh my gosh. I really need my lighter. Why didn't I get some? Sorry for the clicking noise. Anyway, it's all right. It's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take one of my beads. So this is a lovely acrylic bead, but I love the detailing inside this bead. I love the detailing. Okay, so what we're going to do is I will bring in some rondelles from that bead. Actually, I did one earlier on, actually. Oh, yeah, I did one earlier on. So to get this, what I did was let me redo this whole thing for the purpose of going on this creative journey with you, because I'm loving it. I'm going to tell you what I did, how to get that. So I just got one of my eye pin, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put like one of my crystal glass bead through, pass that through my rondelle spacer bead, acrylic. It's not really metal. That's not metal. Actually, if I did that, that means if I put, no, I'm gonna drop the crystal, because if I did that, then my wire is not long enough to look. Okay, I'm just gonna place my other thing here, my other rondelle. I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I might put that one here, my crystal glass bead there. Oh dear, hold on, find in the middle. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to form a loop. I'm going to form a loop, okay? Form a loop, all right? So before I completely close my loop, I'm going to count where the middle point is on my earring thing, pendant. So it'll be 1, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I might just place it in between. Okay, I might place it in between the 5th. But I don't want it to be, okay, what I'm going to do is, because I don't want it to be awkward. So I'm just going to close back up my, okay. Actually making sure that my eye pins are facing the right way because it does make a difference, okay? All right, so how am I going to do this? Anita, come up with a plan. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right, what I can do is I can take my bits from my eye pin that I cut off earlier on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to link that through here. Pass it from the back to the front. Actually, okay. Pass it from the back. And then bend it from the back to bring it to the front. So we're just going to create like a, so I can join the two parts together. So okay, so I'm creating like a U shape. So I'm just going to pull it out from the middle like so. Okay, see what I've done there? I don't know whether you can see, there's the 2 meters. So I put the eye pin through the middle of the 5th hole on the left and then the 5th hole on the right, and then I bend the wire so to create like a U shape here. So what that's going to do is that's going to create like a little thing that can now hang off my necklace, my charm in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now wrap one side of my, so kind of do a little bit of wire wrapping. Wrap one side, one tail end of my wire around another part of the wire. Just wrap it in the middle, just to create like a little veil, like feature there. Okay. So once I've done that, what I can then do is, all right, but I need to put something on top of that. Make sure that this part in the middle is not very sharp. I've got OCD, and it's not a bad thing. I've got OCD, and this little hairy part, so I'm going to place that in the middle. So I'll take my loop from the head pin there, from the eye pin, making sure that that's closed properly. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out that crystal here. Let me take out that crystal. I'm just going to form the loop back again. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to place that loop in the middle of the part here, like that, okay? And I'm going to find like a little spacer. Is there any spacer we can put there? Let me see if I can find a little spacer in my stash here. Let's see whether that spacer will work. Whether it's even too big for it. I think, no, doesn't work. It definitely needs something. Okay, let's see. Maybe try my silver one. Yeah, maybe the silver one will work. Oh, let's see. All right. Okay, Anita, that might work. That might work. But it's hanging. Okay, that might work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just form a loop in the middle, just above that spacer. All right. Okay, I just hope it doesn't come off. But it's okay because I'm going to put something, a design that's going to go across anyway. So you can see I've formed the loop there, holding the spacer and then trapping the loop of the pendant. All right. Okay, making sure that I loop that properly again. Okay, that's looped. Anita, what are you on about? What are you? Okay, stop obsessing, Anita. Just leave it. You see, for me, I'm an obsessive creative. So I have to make sure that loop is completely closed. Fantastic. So you can see there, the loop is there. You see the loop? I don't know whether you can see because actually, oh, okay, it's come off. But it's okay. It's all right because we're going to do something anyway to trap that in. That's fine. I'm going to place the loop back in there again anyway. Then what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to take one of my Let me stick to brass colored eye pins here. I'm going to stick to brass colored eye pin. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I've got some purpley beads here. I might use some seed beads. Let me bring in some seed beads. So this is going to be a bit messy on my table. And then what I can do is, let's see whether that gold will look nice here. Aha! Yes! You see, I got packed up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my thread, one of the crystal glass beads, onto my eye pin. I'm going to thread that onto the spacer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my crystal again. And then I'm going to thread onto my eye pin a seed bead like that, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to see that spacer part in the middle where we've looped, yeah? I'm going to pass that through, my eye pin through that loop there. So you see when I said to you earlier on that, don't worry, we've got this covered. So eventually that spacer, that pendant will be hinged properly. So I'm going to repeat the same pattern from the back and put seed bead, and then the gold, the small crystal, and then my spacer, and then the crystal. Okay, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and trim it down a bit and then form a loop. Okay, so I'm going to form a loop here. All right. Okay, making sure that my loops are facing the right direction. Okay, this one is a bigger loop. I want to trim that down a bit. I told you I've got OCD problem, and it's not a bad thing. I always feel like everything needs to be the same size on each time, and I count as well as I'm doing the work. So you can see both ends of my loops are done. Oh, neato. Okay, all right. Okay, so as you can see there, the pendant is strapped in the middle. This part is here. You see, it's secure here, so it's not moving. Look at that, proof is not moving. So what I'm going to do is, you see this part here, I'm going to bend a little bit. So bend it like that, bend it out like that, okay? Like that. So because I want it to sit on top of my pendant like that, okay? Then what I'm going to do again, I'm going to go ahead and stitch again. I think what I'm going to do this time around is double up my thread. Hopefully I'm picking up a needle with, okay, I've doubled up my thread here, so it's like 4. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off that end. I always stitch from the back to the front. Because obviously you never start from the front to the back. So I'm going to stitch from the back, insert my needle from the back, through the hole, through the loop on the eye pin. I'm going to pull. Okay, and I'm going to insert my needle from the front to the back again, trapping. What I'm doing is I'm stitching the loop down. All right, so you can see, you can't even know where the loop is. Again, stitch from, I think that's all right. I don't need to double because I doubled my thread. So I'm just going to trim it down like so, and then I am going to make a knot at the back. All right. Yeah, so my, like I was saying, my culture exposed me to so much. The rich textures, the masquerades, the festivals, the occasions. Oh my goodness. Every weekend. Oh, so sorry, I just dropped my ruler. I'm so sorry about the noise. So sorry about that. I just dropped my ruler on my metal ruler. Every weekend in Onitsha, there's always something going on. Every weekend, every weekday. If it's not someone's burial, and the thing is, when in my culture, burial is a celebration of life. Yes, we mourn the deceased one, but we celebrate their life. So we have like a big party. So, and I mean big party, as in big party. You would think, sorry, Gizmo, no. It's only ruler, Gizmo. Okay, I'm gonna move my ruler because my dog, I don't want it to stop walking. It's only ruler, Gizmo. It's a ruler. So, the festivities in Onitsha is always grand. Always grand. Music is playing. You would think it's a party. well, it is a celebration of life, so it's like a big party. So sometimes we have the masquerades, depending if the person is a chief or important person in the village. So you have the masquerades come out, and then obviously they do their thing. Some masquerades you're not allowed to see them, because obviously women are not allowed to see them, because if they do, there's certain curse that comes with it. So it's really, really like, it's so interesting. It's so lovely. And then obviously we get to eat our jollof rice, pepper soup, eat eba and soups, and oh goodness, it's so nice. And then we drink our mineral drinks. We call them mineral. We'll have our mineral, and we just sit there and we just be enjoying, laughing, and oh, gisting. So as you can see, I've stitched it down, okay? So this part here, I'm still going to add to it, but what I'm going to do next is, for this part there, I'm going to take out my eye pin, all right? So this part here, I want it to hang like that, all right? So again, it's very important that my eye pin is facing the right way, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through my stash here and see what other, I hope I have something again that is like that. Okay, I've got the two of that, so I can use two of that. Then I'm going to look at my top. Okay, so that is it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eye pin. I'm going to insert my crystal bead from the outside. I'm going to insert that through to the side of my ribbon cap. Insert that through like so, all right? And then put past my rondelle spacer, and then put my crystal glass bead in the middle like that. And I'm going to put that through the eye pin, through the whole loop in the middle to trap the loop on the pendant. And I'm going to put a crystal here, and then I'm going to now put another rondelle. And then what I'm going to do is, you see this wire here, I'm going to pass it through the opposite side of my ribbon cap, and I'm going to pull it out like so. Okay, so I can bend it over like that. I can even bend that like that. Okay, so when you're doing that, make sure you don't okay, so I need to watch. I need to be mindful of how I'm pulling it. All right, so I'm going to put my crystal glass here, and then okay, put it like that, and I'm going to pull and pull with my hand. I'm going to try and form a loop, okay, on my head eye pin. Okay, pull. Okay, the loop here is a bit, this one is bigger. Baby thinking about Anita, leave that alone. It doesn't matter. But I tell you, I've got a problem. OCD problem. It's not a bad problem. It's a good problem. It's just I like things to be meticulously done. Yeah. So once I loop it, make sure that both of my ends are curved in like so, like that. All right, like that. Okay, so that's the front of it. Make sure that's pulled out like that. I like the way it's looking so far. I really like the way it's looking. So what I'm going to do is, I think I need to build something here. Then what I can then do is put that like that. What I can then do is I'm going to try and see what I can bring in. Okay, I'm going to bring in my wooden beads, okay? And I'm going to get my eye pin. I'll use my brass one. So what I can then do is find out, okay, so I'm just going to open up my eye pin, the eye on my eye pin. So you see this part here, just next to the rondelle, the spacer beads. I'm just going to hook my, just before the spacer bead, I'm going to hook my eye pin. I'm going to now close my eye pin. Okay, close the loop on the eye pin with my flat nose plier. I'm just going to pinch it, slowly pinching it without having to snap the, crush the crystal. So I'm just gonna put, I feel like it needs a blue there. I'm gonna put a blue there. Does it need a blue on it? Does it need a blue? No. Let's try this purple. Okay. Does it need that purple? Oh, that purple, but you can hardly see. I feel like it needs something brighter. It needs something brighter. Not white. It needs something definitely brighter. Okay, this one is better. That bead is better. Okay, I'm just gonna try and put let me put my green bead, wooden bead. Does that look alright? Got these spaces here. Let me try and put that there, see what it looks like. Can always move it around. Let's see. Maybe a red space. Let me try the red spacer, then wooden bead. Maybe the red one would be better. Oh, okay, yes. The red seems to work better. Let's try the red. It's like a lot of decision has to be made. You know, when you're making stuff, it's like, okay, I'm still torn. I'm still torn. Got this rundown. Okay, let me try something. Let me try that. Maybe put this one here. That's a bit too much, I think. All right, let's see. Try that one here. Let me try the green again. Oh gosh. All right, let's try the green and the spacer. Okay, and then the green. Let's see. Okay. Let me try the blue, the green, the red. Okay, we can manage that. But hopefully I should have the same bead for the other side, because there's no point using that spacer and then I realize, okay, goodness, yeah, thank goodness I have it. And then what I can do is I can finish off with the spacers at the end, I think. Let's see. Let's try that. No. Let's try another spacer. No, that's too much. Too much things going on. Let me try that one. Let me see something. I've got this colored. Does that look alright? No, not keen on that. Okay, let me try something. Let's see. Oh, okay, I've got this beautiful agate. Let me try that agate mate. Let's try that agate there. Let's try that agate. That might work actually. Okay, let me see. I have, but then again, that's quite dark. I've got this precious stone. Let me try that. Let me see. Try that here. Okay, let's try that. The donut shaped. Okay, I'm liking this one. Let's see. Fill it in with like that. Okay, I think that's nice. I like that donut shape. We're still gonna use this. I'm gonna bring in that agate there. Let me see what that does. Will that fit in? Okay, no, not yet. There's a time and a place for everything, and that is not yet the place to put it. Okay, I think I like the way this looks. I like the way that looks. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and trim off trim off, and then trim my wire, and then form a loop. Okay, form a loop. I've done more than forming a loop. I've created like a. Okay, I'm just gonna turn my thing down like that. Okay, I'm gonna repeat the same thing for the opposite side. And then let's see, open that up. Yeah, so I love to create, and my grandmother, my goodness, when she was alive, and then she eventually moved to the States, to the US. I was living in England, And she was so keen to know what I'm working on. She used to call me. She used to go and get phone card. Bless her. All her money went on phone cards. That was way before WhatsApp. And she would call me and say, Annie, kedu kime? My grandmother always made sure she spoke Igbo to us so that we won't forget like the lingo. She knows how to speak English, obviously, and she spoke very good English. Very, very good English. She would tell you, during the time when Oyibo people came to our land, which is, let me translate the Western. She would either say, during the time when Oyibo bia in our country, I jello Catholic school. She would tell you she went to Catholic school. I molo English in a Catholic school. Akuzlai English means we are taught English. So she'll tell you, the sister, which means the sisters, the missionary sisters, because she went to a missionary school. And the sister, make it sure nice Loibo, means made sure that we spoke English. So, and okay, so I quite like the way that looks. I'm thinking, should I bring it in like that? I'm thinking of also bringing in the design, but that might be a bit too much. That might be a bit too much. So, yeah. So she'll tell you, and this sister make it for sure. Nice lubeke. Beke means English. So she'll now call me and then she'll say, Annie. Okay, I'm opening up my round nose plier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reinsert. I'm going to try and create this so you can sit down and like that. So I'm just going to take my round nose, my opened jump ring, my opened eye pin, sorry. You see this crystal here that that my pendant is hanging in between. I'm going to link that through and I'm going to go ahead and close my loop on the eye pin. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm left with something like this. Okay, then I think it needs definitely, okay, I'm going to put that yellow because kind of a yellowy. I like that yellow. It's all yellow. Okay. All right. I love Coldplay too. All right. Okay, Anita. So what we're going to do is we're going to now pass the agate. I like the agate there. So you can see what is happening down. And I'm going to put another yellow glass beads. And I'm going to, you see this part here, this loop there? I'm going to make sure that I turn my loop around with my eye pin, my flat nose plier, so that when I thread my eye pin through that loop, it will be against, see how flat it is against this detailing here. Okay, I am going to now put my glass beads through, and then I am going to now put my agate bead there. Anita, does that look all right? Are you sure does that look okay? Okay, I'm going to take that out. So you have to give me, I think it needs like a red there. It definitely, certainly needs something. Certainly does. Okay, I like the red there. I quite like the red there. So I can always stitch that down, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and just trim off my wire and then form a loop. So I'm going to form a loop here, okay? Okay, so that's done. So making sure that my loop is facing that way because I'm going to stitch it down, all right? So I'm going to repeat the same thing I did on this side on the other side. So she used to say, she'll call me and say, Annie Mbombo, Mama KDJ. Ne in our side. How is America? I'll ask her, how is America? Say, ne, America Day. America Day. How is England? She'll ask me. How is, I don't live in London, but obviously everywhere is London. How is London? Mama, London is fine. London is very, very cold. Aqua means are you wrapping up warm? Mama, yes now. I am keeping warm. Are you sure? Yes, Mama. I'm very, very sure. Ne, take it easy, okay? She would tell me. I said, okay, ma. It's amazing. She will still be in America. And she will still be calling me to make sure that I'm wrapped up warm. Oh, my goodness. And then she said, what are you working on today? Okay, so I've done this side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and form a loop. She'll tell me, what are you working on today? I'll be like, Mama, I'm making something. Okay, describe it. I'm not there. Describe what you're working on. Having to describe for my grandmother, who is not there to see what I'm working on, so that she can have a clearer picture of what what I'm working on. And then, from that clearer picture that I've given her, okay, as you can see here, I've done this part here, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to now stitch it down. All right, gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stitch it down. So I'm thinking of, do I need to put the yellow there? I really wanna put this wooden bead somewhere, but like I said, there's a time and a place for everything. So let me go ahead first and stitch those down. Let me stitch that down. So she'll now tell me, okay, tell me what you're working on. I'll be like, Mama, okay. I'll describe every single detail of what I'm working on. Okay, I'm just going to pass from the back, my needle. So I need my needle to come out from here because I need to stitch this loop down. So I'm just going to go from the back to the front, pull it up, like so. Okay, I'm thinking, I do a lot of thinking. I do a lot of thinking. Oh, does that look all right? No, I don't. No, that doesn't. That doesn't look all right. It doesn't look okay. Let me try the brass colored Ronda spacer bead. Okay, that looks nice there. Let's find another one to go with it. Let's see, we'll get quite a few of them. So she'll tell me, okay, and I'll describe what I'm working on for her. So I'm placing my crystal over the spacer. So because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hide that loop. You know, see this loop here? I want to try and hide it. So I'll take my needle, pass my needle back through my spacer, pass through the needle, the loop on the, you see that that loop there? Pass my needle from the back to the front, from the front to the back. Pull, 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 pull. And then pull. Okay? All right, so we've got something like that. All right? Okay, do I need to make a double? No, I think it's fine because I doubled my thread, so that should be all right. So I'll describe everything to her, and then she'll say, okay, all right, from what you have described, okay, my grandmother was not there to see what I'm working on, yeah? I tell you, that woman has some serious superpowers. She already knew what I need to add or need to take away. She says, from what I have heard, okay, it sounds so good so far, but I think you should take this one out and put this one in. Okay, Mama, but you're not here to say it, so how would you know what I need to take out and what I need to put in? She'll say, trust me. Mama, are you sure? Yes, trust me. Okay, back from the back to the front. Through the middle here, like so. Okay, all right, Anita, you didn't tie, maybe I tied it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass it from the back to the front, stitch it a couple of times so that wouldn't keep, okay. Oh, Anita, change your thread. Change the thread. Okay, where's the thread? I'm gonna get thread. Okay, I've changed my thread. So yeah, I always have like multiple needles on the go. Okay, so I just thread from the back to the front. That's better. Okay, and then she'll tell me, okay, from what you are saying, I think you should actually put proper in. My grandmother, gosh, she was so smart. She is so smart. She'll tell you, change this way, and all of a sudden, her Igbo tick. This is a lady that called me, and she was speaking Igbo, right? By the time she's describing things, she's changed. She's not speaking Queen's English. So I'm going to make a note at the back. So she said to me, okay, from the way it sounds as if you need to change this and then change that and then apply this and apply that. Mama, are you sure? Yes, trust me. Do this, do this, do this. Okay. Are you doing it as I'm speaking to you? Yes, ma. Anita, are you sure? Yes, ma. I am doing it. Are you sure? I know that you're not doing it, Mama. I am doing it now. Ah. Okay, I made it up or not here. Okay. All right. So once I'm done, I'm left with this like that. All right. This hair is doing really doing my head in. But I'm just gonna be cool about it. I'm gonna be cool about it. Okay. There's this pendant. I want to add this pendant here. And that pendant is going to go there. It's going to go there. Okay, Anita, you use gold there. So I'm going to use gold there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the loop on my eye pin like that. You see this hole here, this hole there. I'm going to now pass my opened eye pin through. And I'm going to go ahead and close it. Okay, once I go ahead and close it, I am going to go ahead and pass. This is going to be like, You'll be like, Anita. She'll be like, my mother will say, Ngwano, concussion. She don't begin add. She don't begin add. Okay, yes. My family know me for adding stuff. But I'm thinking, hold on. Maybe not this particular one. Let's try this one. Okay, this one works nice. This one will walk a while. I'll walk where. Okay. I'll walk where. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that there, and I'm gonna slide my pendant. Okay. This is the front of it. This is the original front of the pendant. Yeah, it's one of the, I think it's metal, but I prefer this side than this side. This side is a bit boring. I like this side, so I'm going to use that side for my necklace. Okay, so I'm just going to put my small crystal glass bead there. I hope I have the same amount, the same style of spacer bead for the other side. I really do hope so. Okay, yes, here. So I'm just going to pass that through this side here. And then what I'm going to do, okay, I need to think. Because if you do that, would that work? Okay, bear with me. I'm thinking there's too many gold going on there. I think there's too many gold. I beg. There's too many gold. Let me try and see if I try this one. With design, there's so many things you have to. It's like decision. Aha, that's better. That's better. What I've done is, okay, I need to find the same color of the. Okay, so you see this here. So I'm gonna now take my agate. I'm gonna pass it through here like so. I prefer that color. That color is a lot better. I'm gonna take this point tip, the end of my eye pin. I'm gonna thread that through this loop part of my eye pin here on the pendant. I'm gonna now bend it like so, like that. I'm gonna end up forming a loop to trap that. So I'm gonna trim it out. It gives me snoring, so I'm gonna trim that a bit. And then I am going to form a loop so I can trap that wire through the middle. Okay, so be careful here, Renita. Don't want to scratch any. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. We are almost there. Okay, Anita. No, loop it again. One more time. One more time. One more time. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anita. I'm going to start again. I told you I have a problem. What I did was I bent that wire too much, and I don't like the way it's looking. I really don't like the way it's looking. So I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to start all over again, okay? I'm sorry you had to kind of watch me go through all that and then having to now... Okay. Oh, this... Things are flying everywhere. I'm going to keep that eye pin because I'm going to reuse it somewhere. We never waste things. We never waste things. We never waste things. Okay, so I'm just going to put that back in again. Open up my eye pin. Insert it back through the loop here. I'm going to close. I think what I'm going to do next, when I get to that end, I am not going to trim the eye pin. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay. I'm not going to trim. So I'm going to insert it back through the middle like so. The other part of the eye pin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now form a loop. Okay. Aha, that's much better. Okay. I might make the loop a bit big. Okay, that's what it looks like. You see that? It hangs nicely too. Oh, Anita. Oh no. That loop on the other side is a lot bigger, so make your loop a bit bigger. So I am going to... Alright. That looks alright. Okay, so we've got that. Huh. Alright. Sorry about my messy table. It's very messy. Alright, so we've got this pendant here. And then, you can see I'm looking at this thing thinking, my goodness, I really ought to, I really need to, I need my lighter. I miss my light. I'm going to go to the shops much later. And I'm going to get a lighter. And I'm going to get a lot of it. Because I do not want the lighter to be embarrassing me like this. Embarrassing me like this. Like, you know? Okay. Alright, so I'm thinking... Let me see what I even have. Because I've got... I always make it happen when I'm making something. And then I'll choose what I want to use. And then I'll realize that I don't have enough of it. I quite like this. I really want to bring in this wooden beads. But this red, this red. This green. There's already so many things going on there. But what I think I'm going to do is... Definitely that is going to go here somewhere. I'm thinking maybe go here. Maybe here. I like it there. So I'm going to pass my needle from the back. So in this case, I'm just going to pass it from the back. Push it out from the side like so. Like that. And I'm going to pull it out so you don't know where I put it in. Oh, okay. Anita, you spoke too early. Pass it out from the back to the front. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a hole on the side of the spacer bead here. These are like really, they're not like, they look like metal, but they're not metal. And then you see the side here. I'm going to now stitch it back here. Okay. Okay, in this case, I've doubled my thread, so I'm going to maybe pass it through the front, from the back, from the side again. Making sure that it will not be seen. Maybe put the crystal. Maybe put a crystal there. You'll be amazed what you can find, yeah? When you go venturing out to source things, you'll be amazed by the gems that people do give away. You will be amazed what people give away. All right, so we've come to that side. I am thinking, okay, don't worry about the back. And I pushed on about neatness. But that part, you see, is because my lighter is not here. So my lighter is embarrassing me right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat what I did here on this side. But what I'm going to do, I'm thinking I need to bring something round on this side. And I'm thinking what color to use. I don't want to use the red. I've used a lot of red. Maybe the blue. But the blue will not show, Sha. The blue will not show. Let's try another color. Okay. It needs something bright. And you know what? It might just be that red. It might be the red. No, it's too dark. It's like decision. Okay, so let me try this yellowy gold. Ah, you see? Oh, goodness. Does that look nice? It looks kind of nice. It looks a bit nice. It looks quite nice. But I don't want to cover it too much because I'm going to put my other yarn there. You know what I can do? Listen. Let me make a knot. Let me stitch that part down. Let me finish this side here. Let me make my knot because remember I've got my other yarn color that I'm gonna use because I'm gonna use that to break down to break the blue down a bit. Okay. So I'm just gonna trim that out. Sorry, excuse me. I'll make my knot on my thread. I'm just going to repeat what I did on the other opposite side. So I'm just going to stitch from the back to the front, pull it out, and I'm going to get my spacer like that, making sure that everything is straight. And then I'm going to take and then I'm going to pull it here like so. So my grandmother, bless her, when she passed, I know that she is with me every day. Don't ask me how I know. I know. Mama is with me all the time. Mama is always there all the time. From the minute I wake up, she's like my guardian angel. She's there. We were so close. I am the first grandchild out of how many children? So we used to gist. We gist. We gist means we chat. Anita, stop. I beg, stop adding. Stop adding. My mom will tell you that I have a problem. She said, this girl has a problem. She has a problem. She can do add. Well, now, and the adding makes it like, you don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the beads, and the beads are communing with me. We are chatting. We're having a conversation, As I'm going on this creative journey with you, we are chatting. Okay, so that looks like that. Oh, somebody, it's lighter. Oh, not even nothing left. Sorry, I had to kiss my teeth there. Sorry. Okay, so I've got this. I told you there's something missing. There was something missing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to thread my yarn onto my needle. Okay, let's see. This is where I test my eyesight to make sure that, let me roll this. Okay, I think this will add that finishing touch to, okay, there's no water around here. Can I use my water to, okay, let's put that here. Let me go get water because I need to get water to blend. Okay, I need to Sorry. Okay, that's my hand. Okay. Okay, so with that, let's put that through here. Hopefully, we'll fit through the needle. Hopefully. Okay, twisted, and then pass it through the middle like so. Oh, where's my bigger needle? All my big needles and everything, they are not on the side here. I'm currently filming this not in my studio, but I've occupied my kitchen table. Okay, I've threaded that through. Okay, let's make sure that we'll put that to one side so that we will not have any spillage. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead. Where do we start? Let's start from here. Okay. Let's start from here. I'm going to pass my needle from the back to the front like so. Okay, I think I just need enough here. I'm gonna make a knot here, so I'll bring it here, make a knot on the side here, and then I'm gonna cut that, and then I'm gonna try and see. I'm gonna wrap, pass my needle from the back, and then I'm going to pass it through like that. Maybe I think maybe I should do zigzag crossover. Let's see what it looks like for the crossover. If it doesn't look right, then we can now. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, like that. Let me see. Does that work? I don't like that crossover shot. It might work. Let's see. Let's continue. Let's continue. It's trial and error. Okay. So I'm just gonna put that like so. Okay. As I'm crossing it over. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so my grandmother, I know she's with me when I'm creating. You know when you have that moment when you're creating and you have that silent whisper that tells you, oh, I don't like the crisscross. Let me just wrap it as normal. I don't like the crisscross because there's already patterns going on. Or should I even wrap this? It needs to be wrapped. It needs to be wrapped. I feel like you need that. I don't know whether this is the right color for it though, but hey. Oh, I'm not even making the hair worse by now pulling it. It's already. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, so I feel like she's constantly with me when I'm creating because I've had moments when every day when I'm making something and you have that like whisper, oh, not do it this way, oh, don't do it that way, or that instant, it's like you suddenly get that cold goosebumps, you know. I get that all the time. I'll be like, first of all, I'll acknowledge her that she's in the room, and then we'll create. She's always wanted to be, oh, okay, let me keep wrapping the, she's always wanted to be part of my creative journey. Even now that she's gone, I still feel like she's very much part of it, you know? She's very, very much part of it. I believe that the body is not there, but the soul still, the body might not be there, but the soul still travels and still wanders. I'm a firm believer in that. So she might be gone, but she's not gone, if you know what I mean. So I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, let's keep wrapping. It's looking all right. It's just like me. It's like, oh my goodness. For me, it's like, because you know when you plan something, when you're just working intuitively, you know, you don't know what things is gonna look like till it's gone, till you're done. And when you're done, you're like, okay. That's how I design. I don't plan my designs. I don't sketch them out. I just take the risk. A lot of the time, most of the time, it doesn't work, and I scrap it and I start again. Give myself a break, actually. Come back to it. Might be a few months later, it might be a year later, it might be weeks later, it might be a few hours later. I told you this is gonna be like a jamboree of different stuff, and we have not even thought about the pom-poms. I'm gonna bring in the pom-poms in it. Baby thinking, oh no, not the pom-poms. Yes, pom-poms. Yes. We need to add a little bit of those bubbles. Those bubbles. Okay. All right. Okay. You know what? I am liking the look of it. I am really liking the look of it. Initially, I was like, okay, this color is a bit too colorful, a bit too colorful now. But you know what? It is working. It is working. The thing is with things is you never know until you try. If you try, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. You still tried. You don't beat yourself up. If it doesn't work out, take it out. Try again. Keep trying till it works. Yeah. So my grandmother, bless her, may her soul rest in peace. She's with me every day as I design, man. Every day. I'm sure she's still here listening, smiling as I'm telling you about her life. See, those are the stories that lives with me forever. I will never ever forget those stories, you know? And sitting down and listening to her chatting to when I was younger, when I was living in Onisha and Enugu. And then we'll be chatting, laughing, eating granuts, banana, you know, eating moi, name it, whatever akara, name it, whatever is available that day. We'll be eating and we'll be gisting, we'll be laughing. Mama. Even my mom, we do the same, even till now. Annie, mommy. How far? Mommy, I day, like delegiwa. She says, waiting they happen. Means what is happening. I say, Mommy, we thank God. We just day. We just day like delegiwa. So just put it here. All right. Okay, so I've come to the end there. Okay, that's what it looks like. I'm really liking it. I like it. I am happy with it. Okay. Later on, I might add some stuff, but because normally my jewelry takes forever. It takes forever, but it takes long. But I think we're just gonna do the main parts of it, and then I'm just gonna make a knot at the back. I wanna trim it off. Okay, so let's put that to one side. So that's the back of my necklace, and that's the front of it. So I was thinking of pom-poms. Let me see. Let's see even whether these pom-poms will look nice. I got this I think the dark color will work better because I have so many brighter colors. What do you think? I think the pom-poms will do good. I think the pom-poms will look nice. What do you think? I think the pom-poms will look nice. Yes, I think so. Let's try. Okay, because I need to, when you stick this down, when you stick it down, it is not coming up again. So you better think twice. Okay, so what I'm going to do to stick it down is, I'll put my uhu glue. Just spread my uhu glue down. Spread it around here against the yarn. All right. Okay, and then what I normally do is I'll get my super glue. Gizmo, what's up? Gizmo, what's up? Gizmo is my dog. It's making noise. Okay, so I have to think about, because the pom-poms has the back and the front, and it matters how it lays down, you see. This part here, I'm gonna save that because I'm going to use it later. All right, so I'm just gonna place my pom-poms at the back like so, okay? Just gently place it round. And that my super glue again. I'm gonna go round, round, bending it like that, bending it like so, okay? So it might take a while to dry, but there was no before and after, you see, so it's not like, so you're watching this as it's drying along the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead. You see this hand there, my hand, this hand, I thank God for my hand, Sha. This hand, I have used super glue. I've glued my hand. I've burnt my hand. What haven't I done with this hand? And yet this hand has not given up on me. If I said, let's get to work, the hand says, okay, let's go. What are we doing today? The hand doesn't even argue. You see, that's the thing in life. There's so many things we need to be grateful. And for that, my hand, I am super grateful for my hand, man. Okay, so I'm just going to put that. This hand, the amount of things this hand has created. God. All right, so I just give God the glory, man. Okay. Inside this, you see, this is a point where if I had my lighter, yeah, but this lighter is just embarrassing me right now. It's really, really embarrassing me. Because really, okay, so when you're gluing it down, make sure that it's as neat as possible, okay? Okay, when it's dried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you see, magically it has happened that, look, it is in the middle. Well, I say that from the back, that is in the middle, but let's see what it looks like in front. All right? Baby thinking, there's so many things going on. I'll wire you later on, because the thing is, let's move on to the next stage, because if we have time, we might just do this part here. But let me just do the next part, because I don't really, really want to bore you too much. Okay, we've done the pendant, the necklace. It looks like that. Okay, you see these nice beads here. These beads here. It is coming into this design, as in coming in like that. Look at that. Pow! Actually, pow! Oh my gosh. When I saw this bead, I kid you not, I think the woman must have thought, what is wrong with this one? Why is she getting so excited? Okay, so I'm running out of this tiger tail. Yeah, I've got this brown tiger tail, and I've used it so much. I really, really need to. It's a gold tiger tail. I really ought to get more, but I think that will work nicely with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim myself some of the tiger tail. Do I have enough to double it? I might need to double up my thread, my tiger tail. I beg, will make it, let it be enough. Let it be enough, I beg. Okay, I think it should be enough. I beg means, please. Okay, so I've got my tiger tails. I've got 2 of it, because obviously I'm using the bigger, bead, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crimp tube. I'm going to place some here. I am going to get my pass the crimp tube here through my tiger tail. I'm gonna thread it through my, they're so tiny, those things. I'm gonna thread it through. I've picked up a bead too in the process. Okay, Okay, so I've got my thread, my crimp tube on my tiger tail there, making sure that both ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my tiger tail through my filigree pendant. I'm going to bring it out like that. Okay, so you see, the reason why I use that brass, that coppery gold, is because it will now look as if it's part of the design. So I'm just going to take the, I've wrapped it around. Okay, all right, so I've got this end here, so I'm going to insert this shorter end back onto the crimp, into the crimp tube. So I'm going to insert it, so it'll be like 4 wires in one tube. It will fit in, hopefully. It should fit in. I beg, fit. I beg, fit. Beg means please. Okay, so it's fitted. It's fitted very, very well. Okay, so I pulled my crimp like that. I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it. All right. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want that bit to be scratching my neck once I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and cover that with a crimp tube. So a crimp cover, sorry, crimp cover. So that's the crimp cover. That's what the crimp cover looks like. It's quite small. It's like it's got a mouth. Like it reminds me of Pac-Man. You know the game Pac-Man? So I'm just going to place my crimped tube inside my crimp cover like so. And I'm going to pinch it with my flat nose plier. And I'm going to round it off. There's so much chaos on this table there. Just so. Okay, I'm now going to close my crimp cover with my crimping tool. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? It's here. Oh. You see, this part is very, very fiddly. Okay, so I found it. So I'm just going to hold it like that. I'm just going to go ahead and just close the crimp cover with my, because with my crimping tool, I'm rounding it off so that it looks like a bead. So it looks like a gold bead. So as you can see, once I've done that, it looks like that. All right. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and thread my bead. What do you think? Ah, okay. All right. So there's this spacer here. This spacer bead here. I think that will give it a nice look. You see the thing? It's taking the. Sorry, I'm kissing my teeth. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see whether it's gonna work. Let's put this, because I really want to show off that. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna pass both of my wires through my bead, and then these little bits of wires here, I'm gonna pass the remainder wire there. Okay. So it looks like that. I'm just thinking, does that need that spacer bead there? No, I don't think so. Sorry. It doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Maybe not there anyway. Doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. Okay, yeah, that's better. It doesn't need it. It didn't need it. Too much wahala. Too much going on. Okay. So I'm just gonna now put there that space. So let's see whether that, okay, that one, you see, like I said, there's time and place for everything. That works better. Do I have enough of that bead? Okay, if I put this one here, okay, maybe that one here, and then this one on that side. Okay, let's try and see. I need to move all these pliers out of the way. All right. Do I have enough of that? I don't really want my spacers to be identical. Maybe use this spacer here. I mean, this is not a metal spacers. It's just like, I don't even know what material that is, but I really like the vibrancy of the gold. The gold gives me this, oldish kind of vintagey look. The vibe, vintage vibe. gives it that vintage vibe. Let's see. Let me make sure that I have that enough, because I have a tendency of working with something and then I run out. Then you find me crawling under this table trying to look for bits to save myself. Yeah. Good job. Gizmo doesn't really, he's not really bothered. Gizmo doesn't, he just leaves things well alone. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm thinking that bead now, does it need that bead? Does it need that bead? It might. It might. What does it? No, I don't like that green. Thinking. Maybe remove that gold. Maybe remove that gold spacer. Try the blue instead, because it needs to be connected some way or the other. Okay, let's try. You never know till you try, Abby. When you try, if it doesn't work out. Okay, Anita, I don't know. No. I need something for sure. That's too much. Maybe try that one again. Maybe try that one again. See. You see, when you're designing stuff, I mean, that one looks quite nice, but I'm thinking maybe, let me try these wooden beads, because I have them there. They will look nice. Maybe not use all the beads along the way. Okay. Decision. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and thread the, let me try the wooden beads and see. Because I think, okay, I think that wooden bead, I think that's better. Because I think if I do the pattern, green, red, green, red, green, red, I think that will be better. I think that will be better, because I think, or maybe, Anita, oh. Okay, let's try again. Let's try this bead. There's something about this bead that I love, man. I really love this bead. And I'm thinking, it works in a weird way. Let's try, Sha. Let's keep trying. Let's keep going. It might work, it might work, it might not work, but let's go. But I think by the time I'm done with it, like I say, otherwise we'll be here the whole day. It's already how long? Almost close to 2 hours. Jeez. I'm gonna do this side and I'll do the other side, and I think, and then I'll finish the rest and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. How many of that bead do I have? Can I use another one? Okay. I am liking the way it is looking, if I do say so myself. I mean, some people might think it's a bit too much, but you know what? Being different is different, you know? And like I said, I don't like being like everybody else. Go bold. Go bold, go bold, go bold. Yes, we're going bold for sure. And then, okay. I told you it's like a jamboree of, you know, so many things going on. Definitely a festival. Definitely a festival. A festival. I told you it's a festival. It's like carnival, but in jewelry form. Okay, so I'm gonna come towards the end of this side of the stringing of the bead, and then I'm thinking I'll better have enough green bead though. Better have enough green bead, the green wooden beads. All right, so that's 1 2 3 4 5. All right, I'm gonna pull because I want it to look like that. Okay, how do I finish it off now, Anita? Talk to yourself. Ponder on how you are going to finish this off. Okay, I might put there. I might put that there. Okay. Ah, I like that. I really do like that. I like that. I do really, really like that. I'm gonna put crystal glass. Will that crystal work there? Well, let me try the bigger bead. Maybe try this darker color. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. It might work. It might work like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna get my crimp. Where's my toggle clasp? This one definitely the chain will not do it. You might add chain, but I think in my case I wouldn't. I don't want to add the chain. I'll just use the toggle clasp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my crimp tube, pass my crimp tube through my tiger tail, like so, and I'm going to take one, depending on what side. Okay, depending on what side you put your necklace, I'm going to pass that through my toggle, the loop on my toggle. I'm going to take both ends of my wire. I'm going to insert it back through the crimp tube. So that's a crimp tube there. Insert it both in the crimp tube like that. Okay, and I'm going to try and put it, if it fits, through a couple of beads like so. Okay, I'm just going to pull it. So use my hand, pull, pull, pull. So I don't want to, I still want like a movement on my thing. I don't want it too tight. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my, okay, give enough room because I still want this to move around. I'm going to flatten my crimp, okay? And then I'm going to trim that side. All right, trim this side. This video is going to end up being, okay, I don't want it to be too long, but you know, creativity takes time, you know. So, and then what I'm going to do is, oh, I thought I had a crimp cover. Okay, there's a crimp cover here. I'm going to try and cover my crimp with my crimp cover. So I'll take my crimp cover, place it against over my crimp tube, pinch it a bit, and I'm going to use my crimping tool. I'm going to now wrap it around. So to create like a bowl shape. Okay, that go in. Make sure that my tiger tail is inside. Alright, so I'm left with that bead there. Okay, time to move on to the other side. Oh my goodness, this is like, I'll tell you, there's so much to be done for this design. I'm going to use my, hopefully this will be long enough. No, I don't think so. I'll save this because I'm going to use it for another project. Save that. I am going to cut another side for the opposite side. enough. I need to put myself enough tiger tail. All right, okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat what I did before, making sure that both of my wires are okay. So I'm just gonna pick up a crimp tube. There's a crimp tube here, and then pass that through my tiger tail, and then using this pom-pom as my guideline, I'm just gonna now pass my wire from the back to the front, holding my crimp tube. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to insert both of my wires, the shorter wires, through the crimp tube, just like I did before. And then I bet my mom would be like, if she'd be shaking her head thinking, this girl, stop now, stop acting. Okay, I flattened my cream here, so I'm just going to use my cream cover to cover my crimp. Okay. Oh dear. All right, bear with me. Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on. Just sort of place it here. Crimp it a little bit. And then using my crimping tool. I mean, once you've done your necklace very well and it's neat and tidy at the back with the pom-pom, you don't need to line it. So that's why, like, you know, when you're stitching at the back of it, you be mindful of all those details, you know, when you're making yours, when you're stitching. If you're making any textile jewelry, stitching is very important. Making things tidy is very, very important. I cannot stress that enough, you know. So I'm just gonna do the opposite side. I'm gonna cut that wire here because otherwise it's going to the short wire, not the long wire, the short one. Okay, you know, this little bit that I tucked into my. Okay, I am going to pass that through like so, like that. Okay, I'm now gonna go ahead and do my red and my green, and then my red again, and then my green, and then my red again. Oh my goodness, my daughter will soon come back from school and she'll say, oh, you occupy the dining table. So I'm just gonna now hopefully finish off and then tidy up before she gets back from school. And then so we can have a table to have supper, also have dinner. Okay, and then red again. I'll put red through, and then green, and then red, and then green, and then red again. How many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's green after that red. So again, there's a pattern: red, green, red, red, and then green, and then finish off with green, I think. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so I am so privileged. 2, 4, 6. It's a privilege to grow up back home And by my home, I mean Africa. It's such a beautiful place. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Don't be fooled by what they show you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Africa is in me. I was born in England, but Africa is still in me, you know? Always an African. When you are born an African, you are always an African. Yes, so. Well, even if you're not born an African, you can feel it, you know? There's a vibe about it. There's a vibe about it. So I try to teach my daughter as much as she can, although she only speaks English. And I use Igbo, but I speak Igbo to her. The good thing about it is when my sister Chichi calls, she doesn't speak English to them. She will say, Zahara, keto kime. She'll speak Igbo to her. And then my daughter looks at me to say, like, what do I say? I said, tell her that I'm no more fuma. Kedo Kimelo means, how are you? Kedo Kime, how are you? Okay, Anita, what happened there? Ah, you see? No. I knew something was up. Is this color? This one's supposed to be there. Kedo Kimelo, anomo fuma. Anomo fuma means I am fine. Thank you. Anomo fuma dalo. Dalo means thank you. Thank you. Kedije means like in slang. Kedije, it means how are you now? Like, you know, we have pidgin English. How are you now? How are you now? Kedije. In Igbo, we make Kedije. You just say Ije dina site or one name Ije dina site. Aropane aradewai means how are you? Are you keeping well? Yes, so we mix English with our lingo. We mix it up. It's so fun when you hear people speak two forces. When they speak the pidgin English, it's so sweet. It's so nice. You just keep saying, it's like butter. It just rolls. You just sit in one side, you just be shaking your head and you'll be thinking, this is my people. Speaking the language of the soul, the language of love. Okay. Let me not sing because obviously this is not a singing video. This is a creative video and you don't want to be hearing my voice. You do not want to be hearing me singing. Although I used to sing in a choir, in a church choir when I was little. Yes, I used to sing in a church choir. Are you disappointed? No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll come to the end of that side. Hey, this table is beginning to look like my work. my Gizmo. What is it? Can you hear Gizmo? Gizmo is rolling on the floor. He's saying hello in his own way. I'm coming, Gizmo. Hold on, mate. Hold on. Okay, so I've added my crimp. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. So I've added my last bead. I've added my crimp there at the end. I'm now going to pass my my tiger tail through the loop on the other part of the toggle clasp, and I'm going to insert my tail end of my tiger tail back through the couple of beads. I normally put through a couple of beads, but you can do one bead or you might choose not to. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull. Everything is a song. Everything is an opportunity to sing. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I give myself enough room here. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I give myself enough room here. If you didn't get what I just sang, I'm not gonna flatten with my crimp. Yes. Everything is an opportunity to Sing, 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 sing from your heart. Sing, 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 sing from your soul. Sing. All right. Okay, Anita. Michono. Michono means shush. I'm going to focus on the job at hand. Okay, so I'm just going to now cover the cream tube with my cream cover. Okay, let's do that. Okay, again, I'm going to go around and finish it off, round it off with my crimping tool. Okay, make it round it into a round ball. Because otherwise, if you don't do that, what happens is if you just leave it with the crimp, as flat, if you just flatten the crimp, what happens is it will be scratching your neck like a cat scratch, you know? I like cats, but I don't want them scratching my neck, and I don't want that feeling of a cat scratching my neck. Okay, so I've got that there. I've got this there. I've got my toggle, which fits nicely like so on my necklace. I've got the beaded part of it here like that. You know what I'm thinking? You know these two pom-poms here? I don't like where it is. I'm just gonna trim it off. So I finished off this part here, but I had to do this bit off the camera because initially I wrapped the base of the necklace with the colorful yarn. After looking at it, I felt like it needed something there. So what I did was I ended up doing stitching some seed beads. So from the back, I was stitching using my needle. I was picking up the seed beads. It's a lengthy process. So that process, obviously, if I was to do it on camera, it would have ended up being like a 5 hours video. And obviously the video was already long as it is. So all I did next was just after finishing up this part of the necklace, I went ahead and used seed beads to just fill up this, to cover up that space. And then what I did here was I added the spacer beads here and here, just to add a little bit of definition. And then I added the spacer beads here as well in the middle. But it was just carrying on stitching, just putting seed beads all along. Obviously, if you're doing your own, you can now decide to choose, you know, you can use several colors in your own design. But I'm gonna go ahead now and finish the back. Although I made such a great deal about, you know, making things tidy. Although it's tidy, but for me, I always like to finish off things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a ribbon. You can use like maybe like a piece of cloth or anything to kind of do the lining, but I like to use ribbon, especially on a design like this. So what I'll do is I just use a piece of my ribbon here that I've got. I'm just going to now measure it round, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to now stick it down. So I'm just going to trim the amount that I need. I always like to start from the middle. So let me move all this to one side. I always like to start from here. So when I'm gluing it, I start from here and then do it outside. So I'm going to start from here to start gluing my, so I'm going to use super glue just a little bit. So I'll start, I'll dab a little bit of super glue here, and then I'll fold my ribbon and I'll place it here like so, and I'll press it flat. So once I've pressed it flat, so you can use a hot glue or any glue to do this, but I'm just going to use super glue because I just want to just dab it from the side. So I'm just going to dab it from here just a little bit, okay, not a lot. Then I'll just press along the edges of the necklace, okay? So I'm just gonna put it like here. So I keep molding it round. So you find that once you get to this edge here, you can start seeing like a pleat forming. But that's okay, because when we get to the other opposite side of the necklace, we can now create like a pleat design. Okay, so when I get to the middle, I'm gonna now fold my ribbon like that, okay? So I just keep applying just a little bit, goes a long way, just a little. You can use E6000 glue as well, or the Uhu glue, which is the version we have in the UK here. So I'm just gonna keep dabbing it here. So I'm just going around the edges. I would have used, because normally if I'm doing this, I normally use also, I can now stitch it down after I've done the gluing, just to give it that extra support. But once you start gluing it and you find that it's fine, so you can see here it's splitting there, but that's okay, because we're gonna, so as you're gluing it, just keep pressing it down, because you don't want it to be raised. Okay, so just press it. Just keep pressing it till you get to the side, to the end. I would have used actually Hoo glue as well as super glue over this. But if I was to use a Hoo glue, then obviously it's gonna take forever to dry, and I really wanted you to see the finished outcome of it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this off, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I've done this off camera. I've secured down the ribbon with the glue. Just taking off all the fluff on the ribbon. So what I'm going to do later on, I mean, the necklace is done. That's our necklace. Is absolutely beautiful. It's so lovely and colorful. Just taking off all the fluff. So that's what it looks like. I'll show you. That's it. I'm trying to move all this so you can see the necklace in all its glory. So that's what it looks like, and then it's such a beautiful piece. Very colorful, very vibrant, lightweight. It's very, very incredibly lightweight. I love this pendant here. I think the pendant complements very well with the detail in here. I think I made the right decision by adding the blue seed beads, glass seed beads, because I think that color blue complements the darker warm colors which I've used within this piece. So it kind of is like a combination of summery colors with autumnal colors. So it kind of that, it's like obviously we're transitioning from summer to autumn. So I liked out, I'm quite delighted. I'm delighted that I brought that kind of feel and mood to this piece. But yes, I'm gonna go off once I go off camera. I'm just gonna stitch this down with my needle and thread. I'm just gonna tack the edges of the ribbon, because obviously I've glued it down. But like I said, I've always got this obsessive thing in me that I always like things to be clearly finished. But yes, I'm just gonna still moving all the fluffs. I'll just tie up everything. Again, like I said, I'm gonna stitch the edges, but the necklace is done. It's absolutely done. So thank you so much for going on this wonderful creative journey with me. I really do hope that you've enjoyed yourself. It's been a pleasure and a joy showing you how I create, and I hope that you too will find the fun, will find the joy within to create your own piece. I know it does take a long time. Trust me. In total, if I was to count how long I've taken to make this piece, is about 5 hours or 5 hours to 6 hours. But there's some of the I think I didn't film behind film on camera, because otherwise the video would have been long. But yeah, but it's something that you have to take time to work on, enjoy the process, learn from the journey. If you make mistakes, don't worry. You can take your time, embrace the lessons that you're going to learn along the way. Whatever you're making something, it's going to teach and grow you. So open yourself to, allow yourself to be enlightened. But thank you so much. I look forward to going on another creative journey with you. Thank you so much. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and have the most amazing day. Take care. Bye.